What makes music interdisciplinary and what is the future of sound? Interdisciplinary is defined as combining or involving two or more academic disciplines or fields of study. This semester at the University of Virginia, Professor Lobley flawlessly educated me and my class on the different fields that sound can influence. He divided the semester into 5 parts. There's sound, listening, noise, and silence, sound histories, anthropologies of sound, sound in the arts, and sonic spaces, sounding environments. How music is interdisciplinary can be explained through these 5 mediums. I'll go through each section and try to describe my understanding to how music can be interdisciplinary. To try and put sound into other fields of study, I had to first figure out what sound truly was. I had to learn the difference between hearing and listening. Pauline Oliveros taught me her definition of deep listening. This exercise was used to fully open up my ears and allow sounds from all sources to be heard. The grumble of buses around me, the buzzing from the heater and the fans in the building. Even right now, while you're watching this video, there are sounds around you. Take a moment and listen past the sounds of my voice. These sounds were always there, but you can only hear them now because you put thought into listening to all the sounds around you. This was the principle of Oliveros' deep listening. I consider deep listening to be on one end of the spectrum of noise. Having a bombardment of sound can be sometimes overwhelming. But on the other end of the spectrum, we have John Cage with his focus on silence and what it was and what it represented. He had a piece called 4 minutes and 33 seconds. The creation was something the musical world had never seen before. Written for piano, the pianist would play nothing for the whole duration of 4 minutes and 33 seconds. People thought Cage had gone mad to create a piece with no notes, no rhythm, and most importantly, no sounds. But that's what's so astonishing. Even though Cage had written this piece with no noted sounds, sounds could still be heard during the concert. Not from the piano, but rather from the audience members. The occasional cough with the rustle of jackets were noises that were produced during this piece. These sounds could have happened during any piece, but because of the nature of 4 minutes and 33 seconds, the audience became the performance for that duration. Some people may have thought that this piece was completely silent, but in actuality, true silence can never be achieved. Cage described how even in the quietest of rooms, you can hear your own nervous system and the pumping of blood within your own body. As a result, I question the definition of what it means to be silent. Can it be achieved, or do we as a collective people define sound as being quiet and not making too much noise? Music is interdisciplinary because it can be seen in history. History of sound itself are pretty straightforward. The first instrument, the first recording. It becomes slightly different when you look at sounds within history rather than the history of sounds. Even during the Paleolithic ages, sounds were an important part of their culture. One of the few indicators that we have of their existence are through the discovery of cave paintings from thousands of years ago. Through mapping and observation of the paintings within certain caves, there seemed to be a correlation between reverberation and the density of cave paintings. In other words, spaces in caves that were more acoustically appealing would have more cave paintings within that area. We can see that even at this point in history, there were clear motivations to strive for acoustically better sounds, and this pattern continued further into history. In ancient Greece during the 4th century BCE, architects built amphitheaters for the great people of Greece and their love of the theater. Even without the use of microphones and speakers that are so common today, people in the back of amphitheaters could clearly hear the performers that were talking below. Sounds were important within history, as seen in these examples. People wanted to hear things more clearly and with better quality. Sometimes caves could naturally produce the correct reverberations, or it had to be built like the Greek amphitheaters. Music is interdisciplinary because it can be seen within science and nature. We have learned in class that music, sounds, and nature have more in common than we had known before. Consider the humpback whales. Decades ago, they used to produce low-frequency drones to communicate with one another. That in itself is an amazing feat of sonic manipulation. However, as technology progressed and boats became more common, humpback whales had to change their song pitches so that their words wouldn't be confused with boat horns. Even on land, scientists have found that they can create a sonic weapon to eliminate bark beetle infestations by finding the correct pitches that negatively affect these bugs. No chemicals, no physical deterrents, but rather the use of sounds to affect nature and animals. Music is interdisciplinary because it can be seen within art. Art is usually seen and not heard, but music can be within any field, and art is no exception. Take this video that showcases kinetic drawing by Max Eastley. These art pieces are shown in an art gallery just like a regular art piece. However, one of the major differences with these pieces are that they produce sound in innovative and interesting ways. Artists have discovered new ways to intertwine music and art flawlessly. Art pieces such as these are increasing in number, and it's exciting to see the limits of the human imagination. Music is interdisciplinary because it can be seen within technology. Technological innovations have skyrocketed within the last few decades. Along with medicine, cars, and phones, music itself has evolved as well. The medium of which we listen to music has changed most of all. The cassette players, the CDs, the records are uncommon in today's society, and people now have access to an unlimited number of songs through their smartphones on the internet. Technology also plays a vital role in the conservation of music. Storing records in a vault has its own time limit due to the natural decay of physical music recordings. But with the help of new technology advances in musical storage, the internet can now store all new sounds and music being made. Technology has even gone so far to make their own instruments, whether it's through MIDI sound bites of other instruments or coming up with their own sounds such as in dubstep. Music and technology go hand in hand in this day and age. What is the future of sound studies? For me personally, I would love to see further development of music with medicine. The therapeutic potential of music has been studied before, and I believe that it can go even further.
Poignant reminder of how the beauty of music has the ability to speak where words fail.
The instant change of mood that people get from listening to their favorite song, or how sounds produce specific memories, can be an interesting field that music can dive into. The brain is so unknown to us humans that the potential for music affecting our minds could be discovered. Another question about the future is if we even have one. Every year, the arts majors have declined within universities, and people in general are backing away from a field that will most likely not produce steady incomes or have low prestige within the workforce. If sound studies wants a future at all, we have to figure out a way to motivate future generations to see the importance of sound and music in their everyday lives. These examples of music are my attempt to prove that music is in fact interdisciplinary. Music and sounds are freeform and can be molded and shaped to mesh with any field of its choosing. Thank you for watching.